Hello students, today again I am here with capital structure theories. As of now we have seen net operating income approach and net income approach in earlier videos. Now in this video I'll discuss different problems based on traditional approach and Modigliani-Miller approach. So we'll see first our traditional view. The traditional approach proposed by Ezra Solomon lies midway between the net income approach and net operating income approach. You can see it is a midway between net income approach and net operating income approach. It is in fact a compromise between two and is also known as intermediate approach. This approach assumes that there is an optimal capital structure and that the firm can increase its value through leverage. Now what is leverage? When firm is having debt plus equity in their firm, that firm will be called as levered firm. Okay, so firm will try to increase its value through debt and equity proportions. Okay, now we'll see a problem based on traditional approach. Here you can see AB Limited estimates the cost of equity and debt components of its capital for different levels of debt equity mix as follows. Now AB Limited is calculating their mixture of cost on equity and debt proportions. Okay, now they have given different equity mix to us, debt equity mix to us. Okay, and we will see that which option is better for us or which option is better for AB Limited. Now here we'll see what is given, debt as percent of total capital. Now here let me tell you that our total capital will be 100% and our capital is always a mixture of debt plus equity. That only we have to assume here. Okay, my capital will have debt and equity. Now they are saying debt as percent of total capital. If my capital is 100% and they are saying we have these four different mixes, so I can write here as 1, 2, 3 and 4. We have four different options. In first option they are saying debt is 0%. If debt is 0%, then equity will be, if my capital is 100 and from that debt is 0, then my equity will be, it's definitely 100%, right? So here I'll make one column. If my debt is 0, my equity will be 100. If my debt is 20, then my equity will be 80. If my debt is 40, equity will be 60, and if my debt is 60, then my equity will be 40. I hope you understood this. Now cost of equity and cost of debt, cost of equity and cost of debt is given. Now we always use this cost of equity as it is. We don't make any changes in this cost of equity. But here you can see cost of debt is given, which is before tax, and we have to deduct tax from this cost of debt. So somewhere they might have given tax rate, so we'll deduct that tax rate from this cost of debt. We will get the cost of debt after tax. Okay, so suggest the best debt equity mix. We have to suggest them that which debt equity mixture will be good for the company. The tax rate applicable to the company is 50%. Here they have given tax rate, and this tax rate we will apply over here. Now show workings. I hope you understood the problem. They have given debt equity mixture. They have given cost of equity and cost of debt, and they are asking our advice that which mixture they should go for. Okay, now here you can see if total capital is 100%, we have already seen that we have to consider our total capital as 100%. Now first column they had given as percentage of debt to equity capital. First was 0, 20%, 40% and 60%. Here you can see they had given 0, 20, 40 and 60. This we have calculated. Okay, now next equity to total capital we have calculated over here, right? I hope you remember just now we have calculated if our capital is 100, debt is 0, then my equity will be 100. So that 100, 80, 60 and 40, 100, 80, 60 and 40. Now we I told you that cost of equity we will take as it is, okay, and for cost of debt we have to make changes, that we have to deduct tax from that debt. So they have given 12, 16 and 20% as different cost of debt, and we have to deduct our tax rate. So first option they have given is 12%, so 12 minus 50%, I'll get 6%. So before tax I had cost of debt as 12%, and when I deduct my tax 50%, I got cost of debt at 6%. Now second option, again I had 12%, I deduct 50% of that 12%, I got 6%. Then third option I had 16%, when I deduct 50% from that 16%, I got 8% as cost of debt after tax. Then fourth option I had 20% as cost of debt, when I deduct 50% tax, I got 10% as cost of debt after tax. Now we have debt proportion, we have equity proportion, we have cost of debt and cost of equity. They have already given, we don't have to make any change in this cost of equity, and with these 4 columns we'll calculate our weighted average cost of capital. Now here you can see, to calculate weighted average cost of capital we have to check the mixes, debt and equity mixes, okay. Now here what we have taken, percentage into cost of equity, okay. This whole bracket is this calculation, and plus equity percent plus cost of equity, okay. So my debt percent was 0% multiplied by cost of equity. In the problem they had given my cost of equity as here 16%, right? So my cost of, sorry, this is my debt, no, so this will be debt. Now 0 as debt percent, and my cost of debt here I had calculated, this is 6%, so that 6% has come here, plus equity percent 100 multiplied by cost of equity will take as it is, which was given in the problem. This is, here you can see 16%, okay. So that 16% I have taken here. Now 0 into 6% will be 0, 100 into 16% will be 16, 0 plus 16 will be 16%. For my first option I have 16% as capital mixture. Now in second option I had 20% debt, okay, and my cost of debt was, here you can see again 6%, so that 6% I have taken. Then my plus sign, equity proportion was 80%, so that 80 multiplied by my cost of equity. Now my cost of equity for my second option is 16% again, so here 16%. Now 20 into 6% will be 1.2, and 80% into 16% will be 12.8. 1.2 plus 12.8 will be 14%. Again my third option is 40%, and my cost of debt is 8%, so 40 into 8%, plus my equity proportion is 60%, and my cost of equity for third option is, here you can see it is 20%, so that 20% will come here. Now 40% multiplied by 8%, 3.2, and 60 into 20% will be 12, so 3.2 plus 12 will be 15.2%. Now my fourth option was 60% debt, 60% into cost of debt is 10%, plus my equity proportion is 40% multiplied by cost of equity, this was 24%, so that 24% came here. 40 into 24%, so 60 into 10% will be 6, and 40 into 24% will be 9.6. 6 plus 9.6 is 15.6%. now you can see our first capital mixture is giving 16% as weighted average cost of capital. The second mixture is giving 14%, third mixture is giving 15.2%, and fourth mixture is giving weighted average cost of capital as 15.6%. Now cost of capital, you can see here, cost of capital is our expenses towards our capital structure, right? So here you can say 16, 14, 15.2 and 15.6. My 14% is lowest cost of capital, am I right? 16% is highest, 15.2% is again little higher, and 15.6 is again higher. 14% is lowest weighted average cost of capital, and we should suggest that the company should go for this capital structure to bring down their cost of capital. I hope you understood. Here you can see, first we have got 16%, the answer is 16%, second is 14%, third is 15.2%, and fourth is 15.6%. Now here you can see the suggestion, weighted average cost of capital is lowest. What just now I told you, our weighted average cost of capital is lowest at our second option, right? So when debt is 20% of total capital, now you can see when we have lowest debt, that is 20%, when debt we have, our capital is lower. Even if you keep 0% as debt, your cost will be little higher only. But if we moderate our risk, if we keep 20% debt and 80% equity, then our cost of capital can be lower. Here you can see, as leverage increases to overall cost of capital, then it declines up to 20% debt, but increases afterwards as both cost of equity and cost of debt increases. As soon as you can see here, cost of debt has increased and even cost of equity is little higher only, and you can see the highest weighted average cost of capital is this, right? But if we mix together these debt and equity, we can see the cost of capital is higher only. In traditional approach, we have to focus on lowest weighted average cost of capital. Okay, so for this problem we can suggest the second mixture will be better for the company. Okay, I hope you understood how to calculate weighted average cost of capital under traditional approach. Now we'll see the Modigliani-Miller approach theory. Okay, now here you can see this approach. Modigliani and Miller has developed a theoretical argument which supports the net operating income approach. Now they are supporting the net operating income approach, which we had seen in our earlier video. Now that is Modigliani-Miller, argued that the total cost of capital of a particular corporation is independent of changes in the capital structure or degree of leverage. Now they are saying our cost of capital and capital structure are totally independent. There is no effect of cost of capital on capital structure, right? According to them, a change in debt equity ratio does not affect cost of capital. They are saying that debt equity mixture does not affect on our cost of capital. This is because a change in debt equity ratio changes the risk element of the company, which in turn changes the expectations of the shareholders from the particular share of that company. Hence they contend that leverage has little effect on the overall cost of capital or on market price. Made the following assumptions. Now we won't see the assumptions, we just wanted to see that they are saying they have assumption that there is no connection between debt equity proportion and cost of capital. Okay, now on the basis of this we will see one practical problem. Here you can see problem number 7. There are two firms P and Q which are identical except P does not use any debt in its capital structure, while Q has 8 lakhs 9% debenture in its capital structure. Now what they are saying, there are two different firms, P and Q, and they both are identical firms, okay, but P has little different capital structure than Q. Now they are saying P does not use any debt, which means P has only equity capital and Q has debt as 8 lakhs. Okay, then what they are saying further, both the firms have earning before interest and tax of rupees 2,60,000 per annum and the capitalization rate is 10%. Now here capitalization rate is given and it is 10%. We have to mark important points here. Okay, assuming the corporate tax rate 30%. Now the corporate tax rate is 30%. Calculate the value of these firms according to Modigliani-Miller hypothesis. Now we'll see how to calculate this. First we'll see what was levered firm. Levered firm was combination of debt and equity, and unlevered firm was only equity proportion will be there. Now they are saying P and Q are identical except P does not use any debt, which means P is unlevered firm and Q is levered firm. Am I right? Q has debt plus equity and P is completely unlevered firm. Now to calculate value of firm, we have two different formulas. When unlevered firm, now when firm is unlevered, we have to use this formula. Now value of unlevered firm, V is for value, U is for unlevered, value of unlevered firm. Now value of unlevered firm, how you will calculate? EBIT, that is earning before interest and tax, into bracket 1 minus tax rate. You have to deduct your tax rate, divided by cost of equity. And next is value of levered, this is L, okay, small l, value of levered firm, value of our unlevered firm plus your debt proportion. Okay, now how you will calculate value of unlevered firm? Your formula is this only, right? So EBIT into bracket 1 minus tax divided by cost of equity plus this debt. Now for debt you have to calculate debt into tax rate. Tax rate will be given in your problem. Now these two formulas are given. This is for when firm is unlevered, and here when firm is levered. Okay, when firm is levered, you will use this as VL. Okay, now we'll see the solution. We'll see for first firm, the firm was firm P. Okay, now our firm P is unlevered firm, right? So for unlevered firm we have, when unlevered firm we have this formula. The formula is value of unlevered firm is EBIT into bracket 1 minus tax divided by cost of equity. Now we know our earning before interest and tax. They are saying the earning before interest and tax is 2,60,000 per annum. So this will be 2,60,000 into bracket 1 minus tax rate was, they were saying tax rate is 30%. So here 30%, the whole division with cost of equity. Now here they are saying the capitalization rate is 10%. Now capitalization rate and equity capitalization rate will be same, so our cost of equity is 10%. So we'll take 10% over here. Now we'll calculate this 2,60,000 into this 1 minus 30 will be 70% divided by 10%. Now we'll calculate this 2,60,000 into 70% divided by 10%. You can see here 18,20,000. So for value for the firm which is unlevered, the value is 18,20,000. Now we'll see for firm Q. Firm Q, and this firm Q is levered one, right? In this firm we have debt as well as equity. So the formula is value of levered firm is value of unlevered firm plus our debt proportion. Now value of unlevered firm was EBIT into bracket 1 minus tax divided by cost of equity, this plus for debt into tax rate. Okay, now we have already calculated this thing, right? You can see here the value of unlevered firm is 18,20,000, so we can directly take this value 18,20,000 plus, now this debt proportion, they are saying that we have this Q firm has 8 lakhs as debt, which is 9, and the rate is 9%. We don't need per rate now, only we need the amount of debt. It is 8 lakhs. The tax rate was 30%, right? Now this 18,20,000 and this 30% of 8 lakhs. If we calculate 30% of 8 lakhs, we'll get 2,40,000. So 18,20,000 plus 2,40,000, I can say my value of firm for Q is 20,60,000. Okay, this value is for levered firm. Okay, Q was my levered firm where I have debt as well as equity, and this was my unlevered firm and my cost is 18,20,000. You can see when company has no debt, the cost is lower, and company is having debt, cost is little higher, 20,60,000. So this was the solution for Modigliani-Miller approach problem. I hope you understood how to calculate problem under traditional approach and how to calculate this value of firm under Modigliani-Miller approach. We'll see some more problems in further videos. I hope you understood all these. We'll meet in the next video, and thank you so much for your support for online lectures, and keep learning, stay safe and practice at home. Okay, thank you so much.